Hi there, it's Rachel from scrappinandhappy.blogspot.com and Scrappy Happy on Instagram, here with a project share. One of my June goals this month was to make a Gnome totally awesome wallet. This is a tutorial that I purchased from Paper Phenomenon. Kathy King's tutorials are amazing, and this is a really easy project to put together. And I fell in love with this beautiful little gnome paper. I'm really on a gnome kick right now, and so I took this project and worked on it this month, and I finally am having a chance to upload the video. So I did use Photo Play gnome paper. I think it's a spring theme. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. And my Cricut and all things from my stash to make this beautiful photo wallet that holds an amazing amount of photos. The base of this photo wallet is actually made with packages of poster paper that I've bought at Dollar Tree, and it's nice and heavy, and it works really well for providing a stable, strong base to make the wallet out of. So in her tutorial, it says that you're supposed to be able to use these things at the front to hold this pocket down. This is the second one I've made, and I've needed some sort of elastic to hold this down. So that's what I did, and because I'm really into making charms and beads, I made this cute little toadstool charm using my Cricut, and the button holds it together, and then this little bell actually here is from Christmas time, but I don't know, being that there's gnomes, I just felt like it was appropriate, and then just some beads from my stash. So that comes off like that, and then we have the little pocket at the front that can hold 3x4 cards, and I have matted them with craft cardstock and actually gone old school and used these Provo Craft shape scissors to cut around it. So that is the front. So then it opens up, and I cut this out here. Whoops, there we go. This is the lid, and I cut this out with my from the paper collection, and then just did a little turned it into a page flag, and then pop dotted it up here. Now the thing about these wallets is or folios, or whatever you want to call them, you don't want to add too much thickness and volume, or it's not going to close properly. There was a period where I had a lot of the gnomes pop dotted up, but then it just wasn't sitting nice and folding very well, so I ended up taking it and fixing it. Now, believe it or not, the pattern paper from this collection was double-sided, and I only needed 6 sheets to cover this photo book and mat it. I think I did incorporate this green polka dot paper, which wasn't from the collection, but I thought went really well. And then I was able to make my own embellishments as well with stamps and coloring the images and the scraps left over. So here at the front here, or down at the bottom, is 3 little pockets, and you could put more photo cards and pictures and anything you want. And then this little embellishment here I made. This is a Hefty Doodle gnome stamp set that I purchased a little while ago, and just colored the gnomes to match the paper. Now I don't color with Copics. I just use the Artist Minds alcohol markers, Bic markers, and some alcohol markers that I have purchased at a dollar store to color my stamped images. But you know what? I think it still works. This is Toadstool is colored the same way. Maybe I don't get the depth, but for now, this is working for me. So inside here is another pocket, and there's a pocket in here that I could tuck mementos and stuff in here. So that's there. And then I've again taken 2 of these cards and matted them with craft cardstock, thinking of dirt, making it think like a garden, and then cut it with the pinking shears scissors that I showed you before. So in here is another little spot. This is great to use all your 4x6 project cards that come with paper sets. And so you could put a picture here, but this is kind of nice to mix everything up. So then this is the bulk here of the photo album. So there's a lot of pullouts and places to pop up. So this is the paper that I fell in love with that I wanted to use for gnomes. So this opens up like this, and you can see this is where it was open. We have a spot for photos here, a spot for photos here. Sorry about the camera moving. This gnome again was made with my Cricut. It was a Lori Whitlock gnome file that I just cut out with the scraps that were left over. I cut out the gnome and inked the edges and put them down there. Like this was pop dotted, but again it just added too much dimension. So you open it this way, and then there's another spot for pictures. Here's a gnome, and here is a Project Life card that has been trimmed down to fit in that spot. So that's one side. Then here opens up as well a place for a picture, and here again is a gnome, and this opens up on this side. And then here is another spot for a photo and another gnome that was cut out from the paper collection and put in there. So that opens up here, and then we have the same thing on this side. So here's some more pattern paper. I really like this plaid paper look. And then another gnome that was cut out with the scraps from the paper. And then here's another spot for a photo. And I made this embellishment with scraps and coloring my images with those hefty doodle stamps. And then this opens up here, and here's another spot for a photo. This was also an embellishment that I made with scraps. And then here is another little pocket on either side. I have made again my own embellishments to put on each side, and then I've put 3 Project Life cards, or whatever these are called, in here like this. You could also put pictures, any kind of mementos from a trip, tuck that in there. Remember, you don't want to add too much bulk because that's not going to work. And then this flips down. You could put a picture here. Again, I like this little gnome paper, so I'd be okay with it just like that and sticking to the paper on these sets here. This has a picture and a picture here and a picture here and a picture here. And then this here has a pocket where you could put more keepsakes and pictures. There's the pictures there. Flips up. Picture here and picture here. And then in here is a pocket where you could put a whole bunch of ephemera, more pictures, little journaling things, anything related to something. So this folds down like this, and this, oh, and then again, aha, I forgot about this one. On the flip side of this other side, on the left side, I made this big mushroom. My friend Christian from Christian's Crafty Adventures suggested that I use stickles when I was making that. During all this COVID pandemic stuff, her and I have been getting online with Instagram and having live crafty sessions like a crop in our own houses and chit-chatting and asking for each other's ideas, and it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed getting to know her and sharing our craftiness with each other. And here is also a cutout, fussy cut from the paper. That's something that Christian is really big on to make your supplies go far, is fussy cutting, and it was no exception doing the fussy cutting today. So that folds up, this goes over top, this goes like this folds up, this folds down. And as I said in the tutorial, if you Google Totally Awesome Wallet and Kathy King, this tutorial will come up. And these cards are supposed to hold this, but you can see whether I have too much bulk in there, it doesn't. I personally like this little string and charm because I'm loving using beads and all that in my stash and making my own little charms, and just the jingle adds a little bit of a whimsical to it. And then it just sits to the side here so that the charm matches, and it's all looks coordinated and polished and put together. So this was a lot of fun to make. I do have plans to make another gnome one in a different style of paper, but that probably won't happen until August now, because I'm really excited about an upcoming collaboration with Craft Mazing and Christian from Christian's Crafty Adventures, and all the other people that are being invited through Instagram and YouTube to do Christmas in July. There'll be more details about that in my next video, but this has been a really fun project to make. Thank you so much for joining me of this episode of Let's Get Crafty, and we'll see you next time. Bye!